So this is not only going to act as a Halloween ranking video, but it's also going to act as a deciphering video, because we're going to have to differentiate between 3 Halloween movies. You have Halloween 1978, Halloween 2007, the Rob Zombie reboot, and Halloween 2018, as well as, well, Halloween 2018 should also be a Halloween 2, but we already have 2 other Halloween 2s. We have Halloween 2 from 1981, and the Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 from 2009, and then we also have this continuation era where it's like 1 and 2, and then 3 does its own thing, and then you have 4, 5, and 6, and you have H2O, which also still has the car accident from Halloween 4 in that continuation, but doesn't count any of those movies, and then you, I think I need to sit down. Just give me a second. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, movie lovers of all kind, and happy Halloween! And for today, I will be ranking every Halloween movie. So without further ado, let's kick it off, guys, with the number 11 spot, and that is going to go to Halloween 3: Season of the Witch. For some reason, this year's been the resurgence of Halloween 3. Everybody's saying, making videos, posting, like, oh, Halloween 3 is so underrated. Here's why Halloween 3 is actually the best movie, or the best sequel, or blah, 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 blah. It's not even a Halloween movie. Let's just face it. When I go to watch a Halloween movie, I want to watch a Michael Myers movie, but I'm not going to go every time and go, I want to watch a Michael Myers movie. Why? Because that's too much, and people might think I mean Mike Myers, and then they're just going to say, hey, let's watch Austin Powers then. But that's not what I mean. To me, it's not a Halloween movie. Anytime I'm marathoning the Halloween movies, I just skip right over it. It's got a cool idea with the whole mask thing, and a catchy, albeit annoying jingle. But overall, it doesn't have Michael Myers in it, so I do not think of it as a Halloween movie, so it just, by default, automatically ends up in the last place spot. Coming in at the number 10 spot is Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, plainly and simply because I find this movie to be painfully boring! Pretty much everyone in the entire movie is completely unlikable. I don't like the mask in it at all as well, and I find the gun sounds just horrible. Like, they're just the most basic stock sounds you could possibly get. It's like old Western movies, like from the 50s or 60s. It's like a pew, kapow, kapow. Like, it's just terrible, terrible sound effects. The movie overall is just plain boring and doesn't do absolutely anything for me. The ending is atrocious. Just everything about it is a bad movie. And coming in at the number 9 spot is Halloween Resurrection, plainly and simply because Busta Rhymes. I don't know why this dude's in it. He's horrible in it. He just is. The movie overall is horrible. It's got a cool concept. I think it would be good for like a reality documentary series, like, you know, going into the childhood homes of famous serial killers, or infamous serial killers, I guess. That's cool, but the movie overall is just bad. It kills off Jamie Lee Curtis within the first 5 minutes in just the worst way possible. The whole cast is completely unlikable. It has this entire subplot with this kind of online boyfriend. Serves no purpose to the movie whatsoever, and most of the movie is seen through these weird kind of like handheld cameras that attach to the side of their face, the contestant's face. You can barely see anything out of them. The movie's bad. You have Busta Rhymes and Michael Myers having a kung fu karate fight in which Busta Rhymes is literally like, like making the noises as if you were in an old-timey kung fu movie, and literally spin kicks Michael Myers out a window. The movie is just damn downright bad. Don't watch it if you can help it at all. It's horrible. Next is Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers, or Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers if you prefer. The worst thing that this movie does for Michael Myers is give him this backstory, because the thing that's great about Michael Myers is that he's this killer just kills random people. Like, one night he just decided to murder his sister when he was like 6 years old and then stalk babysitters and kill them. But no, apparently now this entire time is being controlled by this sadistic cult and this man in black. I think it absolutely ruins Michael Myers. Aside from that, the rest of the cast is absolutely horrible. They even make Paul Rudd unlikable, and I love Paul Rudd. The editing is weird, it's wonky, it's terrible, the slow-mo is awful, and that jump out the window is kind of badass, but it's just really stupid. Kind of funny. The movie's horrible. It's just completely unenjoyable. A lot of just random flashing imagery and sounds and stuff to try to make it spooky, but it's a really bad movie. Coming in at the number 7 spot is Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers, and this is basically by default because it's better than everything that came before it, but not as good as anything that comes after it. I watched Halloween 4 and 5 back to back, and I just prefer Halloween 5. I didn't think it was as boring. It did a little bit more. Michael Myers kind of gets to explore. He goes to that party, and the whole kind of end chase sequence with the little Jamie Lloyd there. I think that's fun, and that was entertaining, but other than that, the movie is horrible. It's really bad, just like anything that came before. Coming in at the number 6 spot is Halloween 2, but Rob Zombies. reboots. Halloween 2 from 2009. Originally, Rob Zombie didn't even want to make a sequel to his movie, but the studio was like, well, we're gonna make it anyway, so then I guess he decided to come on board, and he's revealed recently that the main reason he came on board is because the studio was like, hey, this time, no strings attached, just go make a Rob Zombie movie, and he actually prefers this movie for some odd reason, but it shows that it's a Rob Zombie movie because it literally feels like a Rob Zombie music video, just a lot of random, sudden flashing imagery, slow motion, all of a sudden jump cutty, fast motion, a lot of just random naked dancing girls. But I will give them this, they do deal with PTSD in a very interesting way, and I enjoyed that aspect of the movie, as well as there's that heartbreaking moment when, spoiler alert, Annie dies at the end, and you see Sheriff Lee Brackett, who is also the best part of both movies, just in utter shambles. I really enjoy that part. It's just not a good movie, the whole kind of like mother being there the whole time with young him, which doesn't make any sense, and the whole white horse, and the fact that Michael Myers isn't even Michael Myers in this movie for pretty much the entire movie. He doesn't have his mask on, you see his face, and he even speaks at the end. And the number 5 spot is actually going to go to H2O, Halloween 20 Years Later. It is a perfectly fine movie. It is overall underwhelming, but I do really like that Jamie Lee Curtis came back, although she has now said that it was just for the paycheck. I do think she's a badass in this movie. It's the first post-Scream Halloween movie, and it does show. It has that just kind of Scream polished tone and feel to it overall. I do really enjoy the dynamic, too, between Jamie Lee Curtis and a young Josh Hartnett, who is more well-known in Hollywood now. That's a good aspect of it. Other than that, meh, the movie kind of just takes its time, which is a good aspect of it, but once it kind of gets to Michael Myers actually starting to kill people, I feel like it just kind of rushes through it, and it had a badass ending, but that's completely wiped away by the next movie, which is Resurrection, and it's just better than anything that came before it. It's an okay watch. It's perfectly fine, perfectly enjoyable. And coming in at the number 4 spot is Rob Zombie's 2007 Halloween reboot. I will give them the fact that this is by far the scariest Michael Myers. I mean, typically he's like the 6-foot guy, and that's still terrifying. You turn around, there's a guy in your house with a mask and a knife, and he's gonna kill you, but you're gonna turn around and be like, oh, okay, geez. But this guy, you gotta turn around and go, okay. And he's like 7 feet tall. He's an absolute monster with the strength of an elephant, the durability of one too. Like, he takes bullets like it's absolutely nothing. He's just an absolute beast. As well as I actually enjoy the Michael Myers backstory a lot more than I thought I would. I didn't really realize I wanted it. I knew I didn't want it, but when I saw it, it actually wasn't that horrible. It ended up being the more interesting part of the movie. I like the kid who plays Michael Myers, because I do really like the randomness of Michael Myers and his killing. This one, it goes a step further, and he's just this complete rage monster. Like, he does almost all of his killings out of just rage and anger and hatred for other people. Its kills are much more graphic, and I think those are entertaining, but there's also just dubious amounts of nudity in this movie for no reason. It's almost like every woman in this movie dies when they're naked for no reason whatsoever, and there's just constant nudity, but I think that's just Rob Zombie's direction. Overall, I think it's a really entertaining movie. I'd still say it's kind of on the line of guilty pleasure, kind of like H2O. And coming in at number 3, and this is pretty much by default again, and that's the original 1981 Halloween 2. I really do enjoy the claustrophobic feel of the hospital, as well as how it kind of glides very nicely from the end of the first Halloween, the original, into this one, although I think I would prefer to rewatch the Halloween reboot by Rob Zombie over this one. I think this one has become practically iconic at this point. It was the best Halloween sequel we had until now, but I do enjoy it though. I think it's a fun movie to watch. I think it's great with the more claustrophobic feel of the hospital, as well as just kind of, like I said, has this nice flow, like it's one complete story arc, and it would have had a nice definitive ending to Michael Myers. It's not great, but it's good, and it's a fine watch. Now, coming in at the number 1 and number 2 spots, guys, I'm just gonna lay it out like this. As you know, I just did reviews on both of these movies, and I actually scored Halloween 2018 higher than I did the original Halloween. What it came down to was this. I said if I had Halloween 1978 in this hand, Halloween 2018 in this hand, which one would I rather rewatch? And I feel honestly like the answer is always going to be Halloween 2018. Halloween 1978, let's face it, really hasn't aged that well. Although it has done wonders, absolute wonders, and has altered the horror genre forever. I feel like Halloween 2018, especially in this day and age, is just a much more entertaining movie beginning to end. But what gave me the final decision was the fact that I realized it's been 40 years since the original Halloween came out. We're still talking about it frequently today. And that might be mostly because Halloween 2018 is out right now, but even if you track back to last year before Halloween 2018 was even announced, people still constantly refer to Halloween. Whenever a new slasher comes out, a new horror film, people always say, oh, Halloween did it better. They try to be like Halloween. It's another Halloween knockoff. Halloween is almost constantly talked about today still. I think even 40 years down the road, people are still going to be talking about the original Halloween. Just like something like The Wizard of Oz. The Wizard of Oz came out in 1939. It's 79 years old. Where I feel like Halloween 2018 is a movie of its time. It's the best sequel that we have, but I think 40 years down the road, no one is going to remember it. So there you have it, guys. Number 2 is going to go to Halloween 2018, and the number 1 spot is going to go to the original Halloween from 1978. So guys, that is my ranking of the Halloween movies. If you like this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know. Do you agree with my ranking? Or how would you rank the movies? Worst to best, 11 to 1. Let me hear it. And be sure to hit me up on social media. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Links will be in the description and at the end of the video. And as always, be sure to check out my Instagram page every Friday for the Fan Vote Friday. As always, folks, thank you so much for watching, and that's a wrap. For today, we will be covering Halloween 2018. So Halloween 2018.